OSPE's Virtual Engineering Conference is almost here. Don't miss out on Canada's largest engineering, recruitment, and professional development conference on October 6th and 7th, 2021. Connect with employers from industry, government agencies, and academia while exploring what must be done in Ontario to remain competitive. OSPE members receive special pricing. Not a member yet? Bundle your conference ticket with an OSPE membership when you register to receive $20 off. Visit www.engineeringconference.ca for more information.
This podcast is brought to you by OSPE, the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, the advocacy body for professional engineers in the engineering community in Ontario.
Welcome to another episode of Engineering the Future, a podcast presented by the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers. I am your host, Jerome James. Today, I'm joined by Nick Mocan, professional engineer, OSPE member, and president of CF Crozier and Associates, a consulting engineering firm that focuses on land development across Canada. Nick is passionate about building non-traditional engineering teams and is presenting at OSPE's upcoming virtual engineering conference on October 6th and 7th. Welcome, Nick. Can you start by telling us what a non-traditional engineering team is and what does it look like?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me on today. Really appreciate it. So non-traditional teams really recognize the need to create teams that have diverse skill sets to achieve optimal outcomes. And that's our goal at Crozier, to achieve optimal outcomes for our clients, but also for society at large. So for instance, in our company and in our line of business, and I'm sure in many lines of business, communication is such an important integral role into service delivery. And so as you know, recognizing that, we've brought on professional communications coaches, coaches who have been trained in engineering, so they understand the technical complexities of solutions and problems, and they use their engineering skills and their project management skills to help our junior staff and mid-career staff, help them through various projects. So communication is very important, and that most certainly leads to optimal outcomes. And I'm really excited to present at the OSPE conference this year, just coming up in a couple of weeks. And one of the topics I think the program is going to cover is AI and engineering, and that is certainly one field that one area of engineering that is most certainly going to explode over the next few years, and we're excited to bring that into our company as well.
That sounds very innovative. Are there many companies employing coaches in the same way that you guys are doing?
That's a great question. I've had the fortunate experience to work at Crozier for 17 years, so I don't have a lot of experience outside the company. In speaking with colleagues who are in other organizations, I'm most certain that other organizations are employing coaches. I'm not 100% sure whether communication coaches are part of that roster, but they certainly have had a great impact with our staff, and they've been received very well at our company.
Excellent. I will pronounce the company as you pronounce it, Crozier, going forward. Can you kind of touch on the recruiting of talent? What do you guys look for when you're looking for good candidates?
Sure, that's a really good question. I'm sure every organization is different in how they recruit, what they're looking for. In our case, we put ourselves in the candidate's shoes, and when you do that, when you flip the conversation a little bit, from a candidate's perspective, they're looking to join your organization because they want to accelerate their career or, you know, move it forward in one way or another. They want it to be an important and positive step in their career growth and their career path.
Right.
Um, so, you know, at Crozier, we really provide the guidance to grow and the freedom to explore, and finding the balance where there's enough guidance to guide them along so they don't feel like they're, you know, entirely overwhelmed, but providing them with the freedom to explore certain business units and service lines, and just exploring what project management is all about or project engineering is
Right.
all about. So that's, you know, that's what happens when you flip the conversation a little bit. So um, in terms of, you know, another aspect is cultural fit at the company.
Mm,
We're
right.
quite an entrepreneurial organization, and sometimes things happen pretty fast around here. So sort of keeping your head on a swivel is really important, and making sure the person that's looking to take their next career move is excited to step in a role that's quite fast paced and dynamic.
Excellent. Uh, Crozier made news earlier this year when it revealed that you were offering $20,000 to help employees buy their first home, uh, which would go to their down payment. Can you tell us more about what this program is all about?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we have received a bit of attention on this program, and you know, it was really intended
I
to
bet.
it was really intended to address the evolving needs of our current employees. You know, I've you know, visit many staff, mostly virtually lately, but over the past 18 months. But in any of those conversations, you know, we've got great relationships with our employees in terms of communication. It's really important. And so when we're having, you know, catch up calls on a particular projects, we really go out of our way to talk to them, ask them how they're doing just in life. How are they coping? This is, you know, nobody has ever gone through a pandemic like this one before in this day and age. So uh, what we found, you know, into late last year is many of our employees who wanted to live close to work and really be involved in the community as Crozier is involved in the various communities where we operate. They were finding themselves shut out of the market. The market was just exploding in terms of housing. So we simply, you know, put our heads together. You know, Chris Crozier, the founder of our company, CEO and founder, and myself and the leadership team really just put our heads together to figure out a way to address the biggest barrier with home ownership for our employees, and that was in the down payment. So that's why we came up. That's how we came up with the idea of a one-time bonus payment of up to $20,000 to help them with securing their first home. And as you know, many homeowners know, once you're in the market, you're in the market, and
Yeah.
it's really a positive step in their personal growth journey. So if we can help them with their personal growth as well as their career growth, I think you know, overall we're going to have quite a satisfied you know, employee group.
For sure. I was taken aback when I read that, getting prepared for this conversation with you. Uh, how has it been received by your employees?
It's, I mean, I still get goosebumps every employee who has had the opportunity to take advantage of the benefit. They each have their own unique story. You know, from our receptionist in Collingwood, who was otherwise going to be buying a house about an hour and 15 minutes away from our Collingwood head office, who, after, you know, learning about the benefit, was able to buy a house right in Collingwood, literally down the street from our office. You know, that gives me goosebumps today. You know, Brendan in just outside of Milton here, a project manager who the benefit meant a lot to him to be able to get into the market. Otherwise, it was going to be a while before he was able to get in. So every one of these stories is unique. Everyone uses the benefit. While it is the same benefit, they use it that the purpose of the benefit or the effect of the benefit is a little bit different. And the I mean the reaction has absolutely been overwhelming, and it's so satisfying to see as an employer.
We hope you're enjoying this episode so far. At OSPE, we're here for you, making sure government, media, and the public are listening to the voice of engineers. You can learn more at ospe.on.ca.
Those are some amazing stories. It must feel great to be able to make such an impact on the whole community, the Crozier family, as it were.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just changing gears back to the recruitment process, how has it changed through the pandemic? Have you seen interviewing virtually? What's the pros and cons of business in that respect, as we still are in a pandemic right now?
Yeah, it's we hope this fourth wave can be over with soon. But while we're still in the middle of this thing, interviewing prior to COVID, while we had most of our interviews were all done in person. We had we're in recruitment mode. We're heavily in recruitment mode. We were even in before the pandemic struck. We as a result of our staff and our hiring managers just being in multiple offices, we had already been interviewing remotely, virtually. Just not, I'd say maybe 10-15% of our interviews were done remotely or virtually, whether the candidate was from out of town or whether we had to accommodate hiring managers and HR that are just, on that particular day in different offices. So
Right.
Virtual interviews weren't really new to us when COVID hit. We just had to, we were quite comfortable when we had to pivot to exclusively remote interviewing. And back just in May of this year, we hit a milestone where on one particular day, sometime mid-May, we had there were 22 people that started in one particular day. So it was this one big
Wow.
virtual party on the screen, onboarding, everything virtual. So that was quite a bright moment in the company. Most recently, we never our hiring hasn't really skipped a beat at all. Like since COVID took hold, we've grown our staff contingent by about 30%. So we've never really skipped a beat in terms of recruiting, and we're still certainly in that recruiting mode.
Wow, interesting. Do you have any good advice, like one piece of advice to someone interested in joining the team?
I mean, I got all kinds of advice, but we only have a short amount of time.
What about those interview mistakes that
Yeah.
come up often?
Sure. Sometimes in interviews or during the application process, a candidate will really focus on the work or academic experience and not really describe their transferable skills that they would have acquired, whether they were working a part-time job, during, while they're earning their degree or diploma. What really resonates with us is when they can, demonstrate how their values sort of align with ours to make sure
Right.
that it's a cultural fit. So we're very entrepreneurial. We bring our energy every day, and I think the entrepreneurialism and the energy kind of go hand in hand, and most certainly we show we care. So, if if candidates have an extensive experience volunteering in the community, that's really important to us, and that is sometimes a differentiator. So, when you're graduating from a class like, we see classes of 300-400 students graduating in civil or mechanical or structural engineering.
Right.
What are the differentiators? They've all got the same degree.
Hmm.
Their, marks aren't, they got their degree, they've earned it. But what do they bring to the table that really aligns with our values? And I think when we find candidates who provide that and demonstrate those transferable skills, I think the fit becomes quite evident fairly quickly. So.
And you guys are tooled for the new future, the work from home future. How has that been transitioning for you guys? And what do you see as the future of work within the engineering sector going forward? Are we going to be going back to the office in droves, or if you could look into your crystal ball, what kind of future do you see?
Yeah, I really see a hybrid future where there's flexibility in our workspace. What you know what we need to recognize is that there's no one size fits all solution for everybody. Everybody's got their own situation, depending, or their home situation, their commute situation. Everybody's got their own unique circumstances, and I really see the office being a center for collaboration. Whereas, before you do your 9 to 5 and you go through the motions. But I really see the office absolutely coming back, but in more of a spirit of collaboration, more energetic engagements at the office than what we may have seen in the past, where people were more so going through their motions. Where some of the work can be done remotely, some of it in meetings over a few hours, and then people split with their marching orders or their initiatives. So it excites us. We're quite excited. We've built a great culture here with a lot of energy, and I really see that coming together, even in that hybrid mode.
Excellent. Can you tell me some of the things that Crozier does to ensure and foster a diverse workforce? Are you guys taking any steps to um, improve or maintain a diverse working culture
Yeah,
and
that's
workforce?
uh, that's a great question, and one that's on the top of mind of everybody in the company, from your recent graduate to leadership. So it's an evolving area for many workplaces, and Crozier is no different. It's evolving here as it is evolving elsewhere. Um, so when we hire, we always try to find folks who are adding value to our teams, who come from diverse backgrounds, who strengthen our culture. And so we've organically had been fortunate to foster quite a diverse workplace. But it doesn't stop there. It's not something, I don't think it's something you achieve. It's something that it's a process, and it's something that uh, requires evolution over time. So one of the initiatives that was actually spearheaded by an employee at the time, the Crozier Women Initiative, and it's really um, meant to foster a career growth in the engineering field for women in engineering, and specifically in our company. So that group, uh, we have a few subcommittees, one on outreach, and where we're looking to others and other organizations to foster education and discussion. And then another group that's looking at policies on, how can we evolve the company as a leader in this area.
Excellent. I have one last question here. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on this. I've heard that the hybrid of working from home and working in the office has some unforeseen drawbacks and potential drawbacks in the ones that opt to work from home have less of an opportunity to shine or to show their work ethic or deliverables in the same way that others may be able to shine in front of their manager at work, may potentially be passed up for opportunities for advancement because of it. Do you foresee any of these types of unforeseen dynamics playing out? And off the top of your head, what could we do to make a more egalitarian or equitable playing field in the rise of these hybrid working arrangements?
Sure. I think in terms of career growth, communication is key. And so with the communication coaches we have on staff here, they're not only helping with technical communications, with communicating with clients on whether it's writing or design, communicating design solutions. There's also communications amongst fostering deep communication amongst our from the leadership all the way to your recent graduates. So communication is key, and if there's a lack of communication, there may be candidates may feel or employees may feel that they're just they're being passed up, alienated for opportunities. But the key is communication. And there's some, over the past 18 months has proven us that there's, you could still do amazing work from home. We really, as things open up and vaccination rates increase, more and more people are going to be returning to the office where, nothing, it's really difficult to replace those instantaneous or spontaneous collisions of collaboration that occur throughout the office, and we really want to foster that. Mm-hmm. So I think there's, we're certainly figuring it out as the rest of the workforce and employers are figuring it out day by day. But communication, going back to that, communication is the key in all aspects of a career and running a company in an office.
Thank you so much, Nick, for having a really great, robust discussion, even though I threw that curveball question at you at the end there. Really great speaking with you today.
Thanks so much, Jerome. Really appreciate the time today, and all the best.
Nick Mocan is a professional engineer, OSPE member, and president of Crozier Associates. He is one of many Ontario engineers presenting at OSPE's upcoming virtual conference on October 6th and 7th. To find out more and to register today, visit www.engineeringconference.ca. My name is Jerome James. You've been listening to Engineering the Future. Thanks for listening.
From all of us at OSPE, the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.